Broadcasting live 4 days a week worldwide
from the sunny beaches of Southern California.
This is ExtremeHealthRadio.com.
This is Sean Stevenson from the SeanStevensonModel.com, and you're listening to Justin and Kate at Extreme Health Radio, bringing cutting-edge fitness and nutrition information right into your eardrums. So buckle your seatbelts and listen in.
Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us on another episode of Extreme Health Radio. I want to say Merry Christmas to everybody. It's a beautiful Christmas season. It's, what is this, December 16th, 2013. Christmas is less than 10 days away. Isn't that amazing?
I have so much to do.
We've done zero Christmas shopping,
haven't we? Done one. Just one.
So I want to thank all of you for joining us on this episode. This is episode number 191. So you can go to extremehealthradio.com/191, and you can catch the show notes and any reference materials that we talk about on today's show. And also you can make any comments on that show as well. And it's going to be a fun show. We're really excited. We're going to be talking with Bobby Edwards from the Squatty Potty.
I've been looking forward to this one.
And this is going to be a good show because this is, I think, a tool that I believe every house should have one on every toilet.
I am completely in agreement.
And we're going to be talking about poop.
Good times.
Poop.
We've had a few of those sessions.
And colon health. Right?
Nice.
Only in 2013 could you make a show about poop and colon health.
I love it.
And people hopefully are interested. So we'll be introducing him in just a moment. And if I'd like to let you know also, if you'd like to follow us on Facebook and follow our shows and keep up to date with our upcoming show schedule as well as previous archive shows, please go to extremehealthradio.com/Facebook, and then you can click a like button on that page, and then you will be following our posts, and you can keep up to date with everything that we have going on. And there's lots going on Facebook.
I was going to say, we are building quite a little community, and we're so happy that you guys are all involved. So thank you guys so much.
Yes, it is just a lot of fun and an amazing community of listeners. And I want to thank all of you who are following us on Facebook. It's just a lot of fun. So I want to thank you guys for that. And like I said earlier, today is Thursday. Is it December? No,
it's Monday.
December 16th.
You got it.
2013.
You got it.
I have no idea what date it is or what time it is. But if you'd like to join the show, lots of different ways to do that. You can go to extremehealthradio.com/live, and you can listen to the show live as it's happening. And you can also participate in the chat room and ask your questions that way. And that's always a fun thing for people to do. They can get their questions answered. Hopefully, we can ask all of the questions, so that's something to consider. You can also send an email to me, Justin at extremehealthradio.com.
Or Kate, Kate, at extremehealthradio.com.
And we also have a really cool feature on our website that's a voicemail feature where you can click on a little tab and pre-record a voicemail that we can actually play so the guest can hear you asking your question about your specific health issue. So that's something that's really a great tool.
Yeah, and people are starting to use that feature, so it's awesome. Keep them coming.
Mm-hmm. And let's see, we do shows 4 days a week. And so I want to encourage you guys to check out all of our shows. We have about 190 shows in the archives. And if you guys would like to support us this holiday season on Amazon, you can always do that by going to extremehealthradio.com/Amazon, bookmarking that link, and using it when you make purchases there. And it doesn't even have to be anything health related. You can buy anything. So it's a great way, and I really, really am thankful and so honored that many of you have been purchasing through Amazon. So I want to thank you guys for that. And today we have Bobby Edwards from the Squatty Potty, and this is an amazing company doing really, really great things with a really unique and niche kind of a product that is sure to get people talking when they come over to your house and they use the toilet.
This is for sure.
So I want to thank you, Bobby, for being on the show today.
Yeah, good morning, Justin.
Awesome. And where are you located?
We're in southern Utah. St. George, Utah is where our offices are, near Zion National Park, Grand Canyon, in the Red Rocks of southern Utah.
Oh, wow. Beautiful there. Is it snowing there today?
We're in the high desert, so we don't get a lot of snow. We have a kind of a warmer climate than the rest of Utah. So, no.
Okay.
Nice and sunny.
Nice and sunny. Nice.
You're one of the lucky.
I love it. I love it. So tell me a little bit about the Squatty Potty story, because I've seen it all over the news, and we have one now, and it's really quite an amazing simple little device, but quite amazing. What's the story behind the Squatty Potty?
Right. So, it started out as mother is necessity is the mother of all invention, and my mother had some digestive problems and elimination problems more specifically, and she was bound to the toilet with chronic constipation for years, and she was addicted to Miralax and laxatives, and couldn't really produce a normal bowel movement, and she would go to doctors, and they would talk about diet, and they would talk about nutrition, and she still just could not seem to help her problem. So she went to a colon hydrotherapist who introduced her to a squatting concept. Saying that your issue may be a mechanical issue. And so the colon hydrotherapist recommended she put her feet up, elevate her feet on a stool. And that she tried that, and it worked almost immediately. She started noticing that she was able to go more regularly and on demand, and so just that simple act of changing her body posture while eliminating helped her go. And so she used this poop stool for quite a while. That we all kind of made fun of it.
Right.
Poop stool, right? And a lot of people do that. We're not the first to talk about squatting. It's been around, but there was just no device on the market that could help her with that. So she was using that stool, and there were some problems with that stool. So what I did is I'm a designer, and I'm with a contractor at the time, and I went in and I essentially redesigned that stool to fit perfectly around her toilet, and also to be a little more ergonomic and wide, and all those just function better as a device to help, and also be able to store out of the way when not in use. So simple little thing, but I kind of perfected the poop stool, and that's how Squatty Potty was born.
Wow. And so with your mother, what did she have? What kind of digestive issue did she have again?
Constipation.
Constipation. Wow.
And constipation.
And so did she change her diet a lot, or did she do nothing different with her diet, and this stool really did help a lot with that?
No, she's always been a healthy eater. She's always been into nutrition and herbs, and she's always been conscious of what she's eating, of her diet. So she didn't have to change much, just her posture.
Interesting.
Isn't that interesting? So now the history of the toilet is pretty fascinating, isn't it? I heard it was developed by an English guy named John Crapper. Is that correct?
That's right. Yeah, and the toilet is we for millennia we squatted. That's how it was. That's there was no toilet, and then in the mid 1800s, John Crapper in England invented the toilet, and it was great because it got rid of the sanitation issues. And it's clean, it's sanitary, but it has one fault, and it requires that we sit. And that's what that's the problem with the toilet.
I'm sorry, what did you say? It requires what?
It requires we sit.
Oh, we sit.
Yes.
Right.
Sit. No H.
Yeah, exactly.
So how were people going to the bathroom? I guess they were just squatting all the way down to the floor. I mean, and it required flexibility for people too, didn't it? Yeah. So 2/3 of the world still squat to go. So we're the sitting toilet is uniquely a Western
concept. It started to spread now, around the world, but it was uniquely a Western concept for a while, but now it's starting to spread, and we're trying to reverse that. Squatty Potty, just trying to go back to our roots.
It's interesting because I'd like to know if there's a study. It's probably really hard to do this, but I'd like to know if there's a study where people eat the same food and some people squat and some people don't. Because I was going to say, it would be interesting to know if people that squat have a less instance of colon cancer, but they're obviously in third world countries perhaps and eating a way different diet as well as having different genetics too. So It's probably hard to know that, but it would be interesting to know that, wouldn't it?
Well, there is some data actually that you can look at. There are tribes in Africa that are most strictly vegetarian. They eat very little meat, and their rates of colon cancer are very, very low. And then there are other groups of people in the northern hemisphere that eat essentially no vegetables, and their rates of colon cancer are very low. The only thing they have in common is they squat.
So there is kind of a study, or not really a study.
Yeah, no, there's not a study. There is some data, though, that suggests, that regardless of the diet, the rates of colon cancer are less where people squat.
Isn't that interesting? Wow.
So has the
sorry.
No, go ahead.
By far less. Yeah,
by far less.
much less. It's almost unknown in countries and areas where people squat.
So in the history of the Western, civilization and taking that toilet into our own hands and kind of creating an unnatural way to relieve ourselves, has that actually caused our bodies to change the way that we work?
What it's done is it's slowed the peristalsis, which is the movement of the feces through the intestine.
Okay.
So I'm not I don't know how. The goal is to eliminate after you eat, really. So more elimination is better.
Right.
So, at least once a day, if not twice or 3 times a day, we should be eliminating. And I'll notice, now that I'm squatting to eliminate, I eliminate much more frequently. And I don't have a lot of waste. It just goes through me much more quickly. So
wow,
that's the goal.
So when you squat yourself, do you sit at all on the toilet? Because I've seen pictures that people don't even sit on the toilet. They're not putting their butt all the way down.
Right. So whether you use the Squatty Potty was not designed to actually squat. You can squat actually, and I do, but for most people can't squat, and I'm sure a lot of your listeners are on maybe the other end of the spectrum that they can squat, and squatting is best, but those who can't should not be afforded the health benefits of squatting, and that's where the Squatty Potty comes in place. The Squatty Potty is a great tool to help you achieve mimic a natural squat.
Yeah, I'm just so curious about this colon cancer that you talked about. So when people are squatting, is it important, do you think, is the main goal of the Squatty Potty, and I guess elimination in general, do you think it's more important to eliminate everything you possibly can in one setting, or is it to prevent the straining that's going on? It's
both, but it is about a more complete elimination, right? So instead of there being, we all know, it's ubiquitous, that kind of little bit that's been left behind, right? And you feel like you didn't quite get it all,
right?
And it's because your colon is literally kinked when you're in a seated position. I don't know if we've talked about the mechanics or if now's the time to talk about the mechanics, but there is some anatomical sense to squatting. It's not just, internet quackery, or there's some anatomy going on that helps the elimination process when you squat. There's an actual muscle. It's called the puborectalis muscle, and it wraps around the colon, and it maintains continence, and it's there to keep the contents inside, and that, along with your sphincter, you help control and maintain continence. Your sphincter you can control, but your puborectalis muscle will only relax when you're in a squatted position. It mechanically relaxes when you squat and opens up the colon, and then you can release.
Yeah, I've seen the video on your website, and it's a really great way of explaining or showing people how that works. And so it really does it releases its pull on, what is it, the lower colon?
Yeah, it's above the rectum.
Yeah, and so it releases that, and then so you're able to, I guess, eliminate without really, really trying, which is what's happening for us. Yeah.
Yeah, so it makes it easier, both, less straining and also more complete.
What do you think is more dangerous, to not go completely or to strain a lot? Because those are issues that people have every single time they go. Probably.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they kind of go hand in hand, right? So, because anything that's left behind can also start to dry out. The body will absorb the liquids in the stool, and it starts to harden and get compacted, which makes it more difficult to pass. So that's why you want to get rid of waste with regularity. You don't want anything. You need to eliminate completely every time. Otherwise, some of that stuff that's left behind, the body does absorb the liquid more, and it can become dry and compacted.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if there's one that's more, but straining. So the other thing that Squatty Potty helps with, and squatting in general helps with, is constipation and hemorrhoids. Hemorrhoids. So the hemorrhoids that come from the straining, and the actual, everyone, almost 50% of the country has had a hemorrhoid or will have a hemorrhoid.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty common, and the number one cause of hemorrhoids is straining to go.
My doctor, I had a colonoscopy years ago before I kind of woke up to things, but he said that he had noticed a couple internal hemorrhoids, and I said, oh, that's strange, I'm so young or whatever. And he said, to be honest, I think it was in the 70s or 80% of everyone has internal hemorrhoids. They just can't feel them. Right.
You're right.
Yeah, it's
a high percentage. I don't have the number in front of me, so I'm not sure, but it's very common. And hemorrhoids can be very painful.
Uh-huh.
So, and they're caused from straining. It's obviously straining to go and pushing to go. And when you squat, it becomes much easier to eliminate. So.
Yeah, I'm sure you've heard success stories of people either calling or writing in telling you that they probably have felt the relief from some of that, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. No, we get, I work the phones a lot here at Squatty Potty, and we get people calling me, people calling in tears, thanking me for something so simple that has helped them. If they've suffered from hemorrhoids for so long, and they've had to go through surgeries, and they're like, I've changed my posture, and my hemorrhoids are healing and going away. So
that's amazing. I had a question when you were talking about the original platform. What'd you call your original stool? The poop stool?
Yeah, the poop stool.
Was that just a really flat stool? Because I know on the Squatty Potty it's a bit elevated, or it places your feet as a downward motion. What was the difference in your design with that and the purpose of that?
So the main issue was that it was in the way in the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
My mother did not like it, so that's where I come up with the horseshoe shape, so that it would fit around the base of the toilet, so it can tuck away.
Right.
And then she realized, so my mother, who's worn heels, she's worn heels her life, and so she has kind of her calf muscles, it's kind of at a negative slant all the time, and she can't really put her heel flat on the ground when she was squatting.
Right.
So we went into some ergonomics with a friend who's a chiropractor, and he goes, well, just raise the heel a bit, and that'll make it much more comfortable and much actually more effective. And so that's why we added the slant in the little slant. And then we just made it wider so that one could really be in the natural, mimic a natural squat as close as possible.
Wow.
Do you like to have, because I know that you can set it up to where you have the heel down, or you could have the toes, let's see, the heel down or the heel up. Is there one that's better than the other?
Well, the raised heel is actually better.
The raised heel, okay.
Yeah,
Is that because just anatomically it brings your knees just a little bit higher kind of thing?
It does, yeah.
Interesting.
I was wondering about that.
You can mimic a natural squat. Try squatting with your heel in a negative position, and it's really, really hard. But if you have it in a raised position, you can actually do it much more easily.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Yeah, this little device, it's so funny because it's one of those things that you look at it and it looks so simple, and you think, how did I not think of that? I mean, that's just like, it's human history and everything.
Our mission is to change the way America poops. Whether they use the Squatty Potty or they use another stool, it doesn't matter. I just want people to be healthy. So, and in turn, when they try a stool and if it works for them, if they want something that's designed specifically for the task, that's what the Squatty Potty's for. Because it really is nice to have something that's designed perfectly for the task.
Yeah.
So, I don't want anyone not to do this because they can't afford a Squatty Potty. So, try a stool and see if this concept works, which it should, and everyone should be squatting. I mean, there's so many other health issues. It's not just constipation and hemorrhoids. There's a laundry list of problems that can be caused from slowed and delayed elimination.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that. We're going to take a little break here, but let's talk a little bit more about that after the break. We're with Bobby Edwards with the Squatty Potty, and his website is thesquattypotty.com. And if you'd like to support our work, you can go and buy them directly through him, or you can support our work. You can do that at extremehealthradio.com/squat, and that will redirect you over there if you'd like. Either way, I think that every house should have these things. And like he said, if you don't have the money for them now, just buy or just get a stool or do something and try out the concept, because it's pretty fascinating stuff, sir. We'll be right back with Bobby Edwards right after this break. Kate and I have had our sauna for about a year now, I'd say, when we first got it from Phil Wilson. And it's an incredible machine. We use ours about every single day. Kate sits in about 20 minutes, and I sit in there about for a half hour. Usually watch a documentary, and it's extremely relaxing. It's really, really an incredible machine. And if you go to extremehealthradio.com/sauna, you can learn all about it. We did an entire hour interview with Phil Wilson. You can check that out. You can look at the pictures of us with it. You can watch videos on that page. It helps you to sleep really, really well. You can lose a lot of weight with it. You can burn, I think, around 600 calories in about 20 minutes or so. It improves your skin, increases circulation all over the body, and circulation is critical for your health. You can prevent and reverse diseases with it. If you have a cold or flu, it's incredible. It heats you down to the core. It heats 4 to 6 inches inside your body, so it's really incredible. And a lot of people use it for cancer as well. So if you have any kind of incurable, quote, disease, you can use it for that. And Dr. Shade is the foremost authority on detoxification. And listen to what he says about it.
How do I detoxify from plastics? I mean, you guys are using a sauna, and what does a sauna do for us? A sauna is great, but it's moving a number of different toxins. Remember, we talked about the mice, that if you put PCBs in there, then that made the mercurial that much worse. And sweating moves out a lot of plastics, volatiles, fat-based toxins. It's really good at moving those out, sweating those out. So that's how you're getting those out, and those are contributing to this synergistic soup inside the body. And so that's why they're good, is they're taking out a bunch of the different things in the soup.
And Daniel Vitalis, one of our favorite guests. What do you have to say about the sauna?
When you go into the sauna, like a far infrared sauna like you discussed, your body goes into a deep relaxation mode, and your sympathetic nervous system shuts down and your parasympathetic nervous system turns on. And when that's active, that's the nervous system, part of your nervous system that's active when you meditate. That becomes active, and your detoxification pathways open up wide. Why is this important? It's important because when you go running and you sweat, you're not necessarily eliminating very much toxicity from your body. But when you sweat in the sauna, you eliminate a lot of toxicity from your body. So sweating in a relaxed state is how we eliminate. The other thing is that what's wonderful about the sauna is that it puts you in a parasympathetic nervous system response, like as if you were meditating. So it's almost a hack. It's like a trick to get yourself into a meditative, relaxed state, to decompress stress, to reverse the effects of stress, and to get your body eliminating deep, deep toxicity that's stored in your body fat, because it can come out in the oils of your skin. So I think, sauna is one of the most crucial detoxification, really health practices that we could take on, especially in this era of heavy toxicity, particularly fat-soluble toxins.
This sauna is really, really great. They offer payment plans, because if you buy it through PayPal, it's 100% secure. You don't even need a PayPal account. I think you could do a payment plan through PayPal. It's got low EMF electromagnetic fields coming off of it. It's portable, so that means you don't have to knock down a wall in your house. You can just move it from room to room. It sets up in about 2 to 5 minutes. It's super easy to clean. All you got to do is wipe it down when you're done, and wipe the neck down, and it produces energy and heat inside very, very evenly throughout the whole machine. All you have to do is sit in there for about 15 minutes a day, And the great thing I like about it too is it requires zero preheating. So you turn it on and you're starting to get warm and you're starting to detoxify with that far infrared light almost immediately. So it's really great. It comes with a 1-year warranty. It's about $990 plus $25 shipping. And that's really, really a good deal because if you look at most of the regular saunas out there, they are in the $2,000 to $4,000 range. So this is really, really a good deal. So check it out, extremehealthradio.com/sauna.
100% listener supported. Extreme Health Radio. Opening minds and transforming lives worldwide. Don't forget to join our thriving community for health tips, inspiration, and show updates at extremehealthradio.com/Facebook.
All right, we're having a great time here with Bobby Edwards from the Squatty Potty, and not sure if you guys have one of these machines or these little tools yet, but they're really, really great and I think very functional. They're not very expensive, and you can get one for every toilet that you have. Just a really cool thing. And also want to let you know also about the sauna that we just ran the ad for. Lots of people have been buying those recently, and it's just a great thing, especially in the wintertime. It's not all about sweating because it helps to release toxins even if you're not sweating, but it's just really a great tool. So if you have any questions about that sauna and like to know more about it, you can always email me, or you can go to extremehealthradio.com/sauna, and there's a whole interview with Phil Wilson that we did on that, as well as some videos and audios and all kinds of stuff on there. So if you want to learn more about the sauna, just please let me know, ask me a question. I'd love to help you out. And as the lady said, we are listener supported, and feel free to follow us on Facebook and keep up to date with our shows and our daily updates and all that good stuff, archive shows. So don't forget to follow us on Facebook. And so, Bobby, before, or actually during the break, Kate and I were talking about what you just talked about, and you were talking about people just trying the actual concept out before they bought one. And before we bought we got one of yours, we used what was it, Kate? A sea salt.
Sea salt buckets.
A sea salt
bucket. They were
bucket.
buckets that had bath salts in them. But we tried out the concept, and it totally made a difference. But those things were so awkward.
Yeah, then you're stuck with a bucket in your bathroom.
Exactly. Yeah. Finding a place to put the buckets would kind of move around.
Yeah. And plus, too, with the bucket, too, like you were saying earlier, you can't really move your feet apart on a bucket. They're stuck together, and that's kind of awkward.
Yeah. Most stools are too narrow, and the Squatty Potty fits on both sides of the toilet, allowing you to have a natural gait.
Do you ever have this, Bobby? It's just an interesting thing that I have happened to me. I think we have the 9-inch one, and so ours is really high. We're both pretty tall, and sometimes I think it's my upper thigh or something will fall asleep. Do you ever have that, Kate? Where your leg falls asleep a little bit? No.
I haven't. Usually it's so quick in and out. I don't know what would cause that. It might be from the squatting.
Huh.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It's just you.
Maybe it's just my body,
That's funny.
Yeah.
So I imagine with your company, I've seen that you've been on Dr. Oz and you've been all over the media. I imagine with something like this, you would have to do a lot of education because the average American isn't really going to understand the whole idea of the angle of your colon and all that when they go to the bathroom. So do you find that you have a lot of, like a big obstacle to overcome as far as education with people?
Yeah, there was, it's becoming easier. And in the beginning, when I first mentioned Squatty Potty, I got a lot of strange looks. And, you can't really force something onto someone unless if you tell them, educate them. So you have to, and trying to change the way somebody poops is a big deal. It's a habit that we've been in our whole life, and it's, and most people are like, oh, well, I'm fine, I don't have those problems. But the education is a big deal, and it's key to making, to our success. And we've been able to do that by navigating this topic with a little bit of humor. Mm-hmm. It is funny. squatting to poop can be funny, and so we don't shy away from that. But it's also there's some very serious health, implications with sitting, and our video is really, really good at explaining what is going on and how it works. Mm-hmm. So the video is it's a well written, takes 3 minutes to watch, and you can show that to anyone. You can show that to your grandmother, and you can show that to your date. It tackles the subject, I think pretty well.
Right. And do you think the Squatty Potty is, it's obviously, people aren't going to use it to treat anything, but it's probably one of the best preventative things you can do, isn't it? I mean, it's more of a preventative type of product, isn't it?
It's a preventative tool, absolutely.
Yeah.
Even if you don't have hemorrhoids, if you don't have pelvic organ prolapse, or you don't have constipation, when you get older, more than likely you're going to, especially if you're a female, with organ prolapse. Mm-hmm. So you've really got to, prevent that from happening, and squatting, it prevents the straining, and, it prevents all that awful stuff from happening. Yes.
And a lot of people have, like we talked about, some of the, the serious side effects of sitting in a 90-degree position on the toilet. And we talked about, colon cancer and hemorrhoids and things. Do you know much about the pelvic floor and the prolapse that you just mentioned, and how that's affected by the angle in which we go to the bathroom?
Yeah. So essentially, when you are straining to go, you know how when you'll sit and you'll use, it's called the Valsalva maneuver, and it's when you hold your breath and push down on the diaphragm to eliminate. Mm-hmm. We all know what that is. We can do it when we sneeze, or when we blow our nose, we do that. Well, we do that when we eliminate. And it's unique to humans for elimination. So, and the pelvic floor was not designed to handle that type of stress on a daily basis. So we were designed to squat, and that empties the colon without, putting any pressure on the pelvic floor. Instead of pushing downwards with the lungs, you push upward kind of with your thighs, and that's what is naturally how we should be eliminating. So, and after daily use of that maneuver, it can stress and strain the pelvic nerves and muscles, and those can become prolapsed and damaged.
And so what?
Prolapse meaning they actually come in, and they actually come out of the body.
Oh.
Yeah, it's almost like a hernia or something, right?
Yeah. So the rectum will actually extrude.
Interesting.
Out of the body. It's not a very pleasant thing to talk about, but it's much more common than we want to know, than people know, and it's very common. Much more common in women, of course, because of childbirth, but it does happen in men as well, and it's too common. In fact, one of our first customers was the Stanford University Medical Center, their pelvic floor clinic.
Really?
A doctor from the pelvic floor clinic called, and she was just thrilled to have something now that she could send her patients to, because she had always been recommended they squat after surgery. So to back up a little bit, when one has a prolapse or an organ prolapse, the way to correct it is often through surgery. They'll have to go and do some reconstructive surgery to put the organs back inside. And she was having so many patients that were re-injuring themselves after surgery because of straining to eliminate. And she wanted to recommend they squat, but you can't, essentially recommend a 65-year-old woman squat. There was nothing out there to help them, and so she was so happy when there was finally something that she could send her patients to use, the Squatty Potty. So,
wow.
It's not just an alternative medicine thing. We sold them to most major medical centers now have ordered the Squatty Potty, and many of them recommend it exclusively for post-op patients, especially pelvic floor patients.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, we've seen them also in all the colon hydrotherapist office we've ever been into. That's when I actually first saw one, and at first I was like anybody else. I didn't know what to do with that, but it really has made a difference.
Yeah,
in the elimination, big time.
Yeah, for both of us, it's much quicker, it's much cleaner. and there's less straining or no straining at all.
And it is a little awkward to get used to at the beginning, I'd say, but
it is, yeah. It
probably becomes second nature.
It's probably awkward the higher one you get, because we have the 9-inch. And
right.
So if you get a lower one, I'm sure it's not that big of a transition, is it?
No, but it is. The body does take a bit to adjust because you're changing the posture. So you've been, like I said, we're creatures of habit, and we've been sitting, and it feels weird. So you're squatting, and then you have to poop, and it's like, this doesn't feel right.
Right.
But after you do it for a week, you'll be like, how did I ever go without this thing?
Well, now, what you guys should build is some sort of portable one, because what do I do when I go to a hotel,
Right, I know. No, that's the number one request is a porta squatty. And we're working on that. We've had, luckily it's a little slow start. Just a year ago, we were in my parents' garage still.
Wow.
So, we've had, crazy growth in the last year. And so, finally, I feel like now I can take some time to really maybe, produce some stools that people improve upon the original Squatty Potty.
Is there any talks about, or are there any talks about making an adjustable design where it can move up and down, so that people don't have to buy, a specific height one?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we've got that in concept already.
Wow.
And the problem is when you add any adjustability is to try and keep it still looking sophisticated and not like a rest home device, right?
Yeah.
No, totally.
Nobody wants this kind of weird contraption around their toilet. So I'm torn between, do I have this, that looks like a kind of those shower stools or something, but we're working on something that I think has some sophistication and some function to it. And then also some more simple ones that are just a little more sleek and modern. That
would be a really challenging design thing to overcome, the ability to have an adjustable design, but also the ability to have one that's portable. And those two concepts are kind of opposite each other, aren't they?
It's been elusive, but I think we finally got something that we're going to move forward with.
Oh, wow, really? Exciting.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yes, it is.
So what's going on with people's toilets? They have different... Because we have the 9-inch, like I said, and it fits perfectly right underneath our toilet. But our toilet looks like, I think, every other toilet I've ever been on. But there's different heights of toilets, right?
No, there are different heights, and we're actually moving in the wrong direction. So, originally toilets were about 14.5 inches. Much lower to the ground. And over the last 5 to 10 years, they've moved to what they call a comfort height, because it's easier to get on and off of, so people don't have to squat down so low. So if you were to try and go to Lowe's or Home Depot, you wouldn't be able to find a 14-inch toilet. They only have these new comfort height toilets, which is we're moving in the wrong direction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty soon people are going to be
actually making toilets higher. Yeah, pretty much.
No, it's
I don't want to have to do it. I don't want to have to do any work. I just want to,
Well, my parents recently got one about 6 months ago when they were doing some remodel stuff in their downstairs bathroom, and I was like, my feet were almost dangling. I'm like, what is this thing?
Oh, they bought a higher one.
Really high. And I was shocked, and they said that's what's available. And until then, I had no idea that that's the direction. And it was, like you said, Bobby, complete opposite of where we've been going. And it just seems so unnatural.
Right. And that's part of our mission, is to really educate the public that this is the wrong way to go. And maybe Squatty Potty in its own small way or big way will, like I say, achieve our mission of changing the way we poop.
Yeah.
Well, this is good stuff. We got to take a little break. I have a couple more questions that I want to ask. I'm curious, just to let you know, I'm just curious if people have had any bad experiences. I'm curious if people have written in, and I mean, we love ours, and we just love how it works and love what it does for us. But I'm curious if you get anybody that has, bad experiences, or they have poor experiences with it. So we're with Bobby Edwards from the Squatty Potty, and again, his website is thesquattypotty.com, and you can purchase them there, or you could go through us if you like. Either way, that's extremehealthradio.com/squat.
That is the best name, I have to say. Squatty Potty just makes you smile.
I know, isn't it great?
It's great.
And we'll be right back right after this break. I have been a huge fan of rebounding for many, many years. And if you want to get in great cardiovascular shape, tone your legs, back, and butt and stomach, as well as cleanse your lymphatic system from toxins and chemicals, you just have to start rebounding. It's imperative. And not only will it create endorphins that quickly become addictive to you, but it's very low impact as well. It helps to prevent sicknesses and diseases, as well as increase bone density, and it flushes toxins from your lymphatic system. It's amazing. And not only that, but it's a ton of fun also. I do it every single day for about 15 minutes. And we found the best rebounder on the market today in the world, bar none. It's called the Bellicon Rebounder. It's the Rolls-Royce of rebounders, in my opinion. And let's listen to some of what our guests have had to say about rebounding. Robert von Sarbacher is a health researcher and creator of the Mini Beat Protocol. And Robert, what's your favorite exercise?
In general, probably one of the number one anti-aging exercises on the planet is rebounding. So 15 minutes a day is good for that. You can find people who have had thermography scans on cancers, giant tumors, and when they're doing a rebounder, it would start spewing out and shrinking right in front of your eyes, the tumor would, as they're on the rebounder. So it's really good for that sort of thing. It's also very good for exercising internal organs. It's the only internal organ exerciser that I know of known to man.
Dr. Lindsay Duncan is the CEO and founder of Genesis Today. And what's the best way that you think of to stimulate the lymphatic system of the body?
Rebounding is incredible because it's good for the lymphatic system, and there's more lymph fluid in the body than there is blood. And the quickest way and the most effective way to get the lymphatic system flowing is through rebounding itself.
Yeah, because the lymphatic system can't really detox itself, can it? I think you know.
The heart, we have the heart, thank you, for pumping blood. And we don't have a heart to pump lymphatic fluid. The only thing that really can pump lymphatic fluid is cardiovascular exercise utilizing the thighs, the thigh muscles. And that's why rebounding and getting a burn in that thigh muscle is so important for the flow and the stimulation of the lymphatic fluid.
Wow, and they even put cancer patients on rebounding, don't they?
Nutritionists do.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but not a conventional doctor. But yeah, I've been learning about rebounding lately. It's quite an amazing thing.
Yeah, rebounding's amazing.
Health researcher and author of Cancer Step Outside the Box, Ty Bollinger. What do you do in your life to prevent cancer?
What do you do to treat cancer? What do you do to prevent it? Rebounding is something that I try to do on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. A little mini trampoline for those people that aren't familiar with the term rebounding, but it's basically just jumping up and down on the little mini tramp. Mm-hmm. What that does is it stimulates the lymphatic system. Lymphatic system is one of our primary detoxification systems in our body, and most folks don't stimulate their lymph flow, and so the toxicity in their body builds up because their lymph is not stimulated, and the up-down motion on a rebounder stimulates the lymph flow better than just about any other exercise. So I do that almost on a daily, probably 5 days a week, I would say I average doing that.
And finally, author and speaker and creator of the Longevity Now program, David Wolf. Do you think the Bellicon is the best rebounder on the market today?
Absolutely. I was just with the crew in Europe that does the Bellicon Rebounder, which is an incredible rebounder. My God, what a machine. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't use metal springs. It uses like flexi ropes. So it's very soft and fun, and it's just great to play with.
Well, there you have it. The up and down G-force actually stimulates every single cell in your body. It's incredible. And as someone who works out in the gym a lot and does Qigong, I think that the best physical aerobic exercise, in my opinion, is rebounding. It's just absolutely incredible for the human body. And the Bellicon is silent, and it comes with a warranty, and you can get them in several different sizes and colors, and some of them have bars that you can hold on to in case you're worried about balance. It's a well worth it investment in your health and in your future. So check them out in our store if you'd like, or you can check out the videos on extremehealthradio.com/Bellicon. Again, that's extremehealthradio.com/Bellicon. That's B as in boy, ELLICON.
100% listener supported. Extreme Health Radio. Opening minds and transforming lives worldwide. Don't forget to join our thriving community for health tips, inspiration, and show updates at extremehealthradio.com/Facebook.
All right, having a great time here with Bobby Edwards and Kate talking about poop.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Who would have known our life would have gone this route?
I know, talking about poop on the radio.
It. I know, right? Love it.
I just want to encourage you guys to don't forget to sign up to our newsletter list. We're giving away an amazing, great ebook called Lessons from the Miracle Doctors, 177 pages, written by John Barron. And you can read that on your iPad, your Kindle, and any of those devices, and you can get access to it immediately. It sells for $20 on Amazon, so you can get it for free if you sign up to our email list, extremehealthradio.com/subscribe. And you also get show updates and some great information, so don't forget to check that out. And also, if you have any questions about that Bellicon, we've been selling quite a few of those, and it's just a great machine, the Bellicon. Mm-hmm. It's like the Squatty Potty. I mean, these things are just simple, yet extremely effective, and they do what they do.
Right.
And they're just really great. So if you have any questions about that Bellicon, let me know, and I'd love to help you out in any way we possibly can. And Bobby, I wanted to know, before we get to the question of if you've had any disgruntled customers or anybody that's had bad experiences, just recapping a little bit, what are your top 5 reasons why people should be squatting? What are the main benefits of the Squatty Potty, just to rehash that?
Sure. So obviously for easier and more effective elimination, right? And so that's the number one reason. And more effective is that means more volume and more complete. We don't want to have any of that feces left behind. It's toxic. Literally, it's something. It's how our body gets rid of toxins is through the feces, and the quicker we can get that out, the better. So, another reason would be for preventing, anywhere from colon cancer to prolapse to colitis, Crohn's disease, bladder incontinence. There's a laundry list of things that can be caused from sitting and straining to go.
Mm-hmm.
Another reason is it just feels good. We all know what it's like to have a good bowel movement. I call it, #amazing dump. It feels really good to have a good poo, and it's ubiquitous. And when we feel lighter, we feel cleaner, we feel healthier when we're able to go when we need to go. And the Squatty Potty affords you that. It allows you to go, and you won't be denied at the toilet with your Squatty Potty.
Mm-hmm.
Then the other one's just, health. It's a health tool. Mm-hmm. So that's,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an incredible tool. And so I was curious, do you have any people that have written in or disgruntled customers or people that have used it and they really don't like it? Have you ever had that?
We don't have anyone that doesn't like it. Mm-hmm. I haven't had anyone that says, we do get a small percentage of people that it just doesn't work. They don't feel the difference. And so we always take their money back. We send it back. We have a 60-day money-back guarantee on a product. If it doesn't work for you, send it back. We'll refund your money. It's that simple. Luckily, we've developed some kind of a cult following, and our number, we asked our customers just a couple weeks ago, how would you recommend it? And we got a 90% approval rating from over 40% of our customers replied to that, and of that, 90% would recommend it to a family or friend. So we have a high approval rating, and most people hear about us through word of mouth. That's how most people are hearing about Squatty Potty still. So their friend, they've tried it, a friend of theirs has tried it and recommended it to us. So,
wow.
But we do, for some people, it may not work. I think it's, or they just don't feel it, so they don't, I don't know how many of them are just not willing to try and take the effort to go through that change period where you're get through the awkward period of getting past the squat.
Right.
And you know what I'm talking about. So
yes.
Yeah. It takes a little bit. It took me probably, I'd say, about maybe 3 or 4 days to really feel like, it was really good. And now it's to the type of situation where I'm almost addicted. I couldn't imagine not having it. Mm-hmm. It's just it would be scary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It'd be scary.
We get a lot of people talking about how instead of going to go to the bathroom, they say, I've got to go squatty.
They have your t-shirts, right? I love to squat or something.
I love that.
Yeah.
Keep calm and squat on.
I love that. Keep calm, squat on.
That's the
best. Now, you have a few different models here. It looks like you have the one, really moderately priced, too. All the way down to $34.99 at the moment. And so those are the plastic ones, right? Are those the most popular ones, or the bamboo? Is that more popular?
No, definitely the plastic is most popular. You can get it for $30, So that's a great great price. They're made in the USA. We make them here in Utah. So it's a nice, even though it's plastic, it's still a really sturdy, well-made stool. Mm-hmm. And so for $30 you get a Squatty Echo. And then we do have the bamboo, and those are really nice. They're handmade, and they're it's a nice stool, So those are $79. So.
And they have, if people are concerned, they have those little rubber skid pads on the bottom, right? So you can't really skid this thing across the floor or anything.
No, they're very safe. They're built sturdy. They're built strong. They're very safe.
Now, I was wondering about your customer base, because it seems like a lot of people. This is more preventative medicine, kind of a preventative lifestyle approach, stuff that like Dr. Jack Cruz would talk about. He was a doctor on our show, and so this is just a lifestyle thing. And so, is your customer base? I'm curious if they have any special diets, or if they're paleo, raw food, or are they just the average run of the mill people?
No, originally that was our original low-hanging fruit, is what I call them. The early adopters, right? They were people who were concerned about what they were eating, whether they were vegan or raw or paleo. Paleo is all about ancestral health, and our ancestors squatted, so that they were early adopters. Mm-hmm. But more recently, we were on Dr. Oz, and then we were also on Howard Stern last week, gave essentially a 30-minute ringing endorsement of the Squatty Potty. He said it was the most amazing poop he's had in his life. And so now we've gone, the other end of the spectrum with people just, hearing it from Howard, and they're just like, they just want to squat. I think all the best people squat now. I think, colonics and hydrotherapy is so 20th century now. Now everyone's squatting.
That's so
Getting
great.
Back to our roots, really.
That's so great, because with the amount of people in the United States and how many toilets they have, personally, I think, like I said earlier in the show, these things should be on every toilet in every home.
Just as people shouldn't be smoking, they shouldn't be sitting. It's that simple. Mm-hmm. It really is that harmful to your health.
And what I like Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, to sit daily and eliminate is, it's not healthy. So. Yeah.
And what I like about it is it's like a lifestyle thing that people don't have to do anything different in order to be just a little bit healthier. So there's these grounded sheets that people can have, or there's these little lifestyle things that people can do in their life where it allows them to be tremendously in much better health, but they don't have to do anything really different. And I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. No.
Yep.
Just change your posture.
Just change your posture. Just start squatting.
Yes.
I love it.
So now
anyone can do it. My grandmother, she's 82, and you would have to pry her Squatty Potty out of her cold dead hands.
Wow. Now, I see you have a few other products, too, on your website. What are some of the other products that you have? You looks like you have... Well, I'll let you talk about them. Yeah.
So we decided to just create the whole better bathroom experience, and we've got a essential oil spray that You spray it in the toilet bowl before you go, and it creates a barrier for the smell. So it really prevents the smell from ever happening, and it works great in your own bathroom. You know, for your partner or your husband or wife, but it also works great at work or at work or in small areas, hotel rooms and stuff. So and it's all made here in Utah. A friend of mine who is she worked at a spa locally. It's called Green Valley Spa, and she was making all their organic and beauty products. And I just loved her sense of smell. And I said, make me some bathroom spray. And so we come up with this, and it's called Turtaloo. So we've got that. We've also have a bidet now that we've been selling that is a great addition too. You know,
what is that?
The bidet,
bidet
yeah. Okay. It's a retrofitted bidet, and it's only $30 as well. So, and you can fit on any toilet, installed in 5 minutes, and you don't have to use toilet paper, or you get a lot cleaner. I don't know if you are familiar with how bidets work, but they're awesome.
That's very European, right?
It's very European, but it fits on any toilet. You don't have to buy a whole separate unit. It plugs into your water supply, and the bidet has become really, really popular. And bidet, using the bidet is again, once you try it, you'll be like, how did I ever go without this?
So is that becoming that is becoming a popular thing for people in the U.S. then?
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, and it looks like you have different, like a super soft toilet seat here, and you have...
Yeah, so again, when you were talking about that uncomfortable, when you were squatting or using the Squatty Potty, a lot of people with less cushion on their butt, because they're at a more acute angle when squatting, so there's less surface area on the toilet seat, so it can become a little sharp. So that's how you've got the super soft toilet seat, just to make it a little more comfortable.
So going back to that Turtaloo, that's an interesting thing. So that's just basically an essential oil that you would put a drop in the toilet. Is that how it works?
Yeah, I see. It comes in a spritzer, so you just spray the bowl. You spray the bowl before you go. So, and it creates a barrier. It works amazingly well.
Really?
So, yeah.
Wow, that
smells really good.
That's so interesting.
I have to give you creativity points for naming all your products. They're amazing. They're fabulous. I love it.
And what is
Turtaloo, it's Turtaloo, say goodbye to bathroom odors.
That is beautiful.
And what is the Toto Washlet B100 and then the S3 or 300E?
Those are all bidets as well.
Okay.
So those are those are bidets, and they're just other products that we found that we like. We test things in the bathroom. If we like them, we've been putting them up on our site. We were really kind of picky though, because we only want the best things that we can find, and Toto's a great brand, and it's expensive, but it's a great machine.
Gosh, it's so interesting. Now, I was curious, kind of closing out the show here. You mentioned earlier that you're working on some new designs and things like that. Any ideas or any time frames when those might be available?
Yeah, so they're on fast track now. We finally came up with the concept, and I'm working with an engineer now to get those all completed. Hopefully by March 1st of March, we'll have more Squatty Potties.
Wow! I bet you never thought your life was going to go in this direction, did you?
Never in a million years. No, a few years ago I was just pouring concrete and building houses, and now I'm like you guys, talking poop on the radio.
I know, right? Isn't that wild? Wow,
it's an amazing journey. We're so thankful for your product. It's just amazing. It's changing so many people's lives. We know.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's such a great thing. So innovative and so simple. I love it.
Good. Yeah, it is. It is simple.
It's functional and it's chic.
So any
you don't have to. You don't have to change anything. You don't have to take anything. No pills. No potions.
Right.
Just a simple. So simple.
Right. Any plans for projects besides what we talked about? Anything aside from that going on?
No, we're just working on changing the way America poops one stool at a time.
I love it.
That's beautiful.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for being on. And if you're interested, if anybody's interested, you can go to extremehealthradio.com/squat or thesquattypotty.com to buy directly. Either way, we'll get you there. And thank you, Bobby, for spending some time with us.
Thanks, Justin. Thanks, Kate.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Talk to you soon.
All right. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Well, that was interesting.
Yeah, wasn't that interesting? Yeah.
Ooh, that Squatty Potty. It's changing. I love that. I love their tagline.
I know, right?
Changing the way America poops.
I know.
One stool at a time.
I didn't even get that.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I didn't.
The Squatty Potty stool. on their website, it puts stool in quotes.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
He's a great guy.
Yeah, that is so funny.
Yeah, you never know where your life's going to take you, do you? I mean, like he said at the end there, he's pouring concrete and never imagined that this would be the way his life would pan out. And look at what one simple functional tool that's available to us has changed. I mean, you can read their testimonials on their website. You and I have found our own colon health to be much improved.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And we tell people about it, and people come over to our house and nobody's really said anything. There's been no haters of the Squatty Potty.
Oh, no.
No, I don't know if they use it or not. I don't ask them, but nobody said, what the heck is that? When I expected maybe a little bit more of that at the beginning. But
yeah, oh yeah.
It's quite a fascinating and chic invention, isn't it?
Yeah, it's interesting because with the Squatty Potty, it makes so much sense. And when you look about it and learn about it, you think, okay, is this going to really work? But then when you start using it, you find out it really does work.
Right.
It does take a couple days for you to get used to it.
Mm-hmm. It's awkward at the beginning.
It's awkward at the beginning. You don't feel like you can get your feet that high, but it really does work, and it makes you feel better, and your eliminations are quicker. You're in and out a lot quicker. You're not straining.
It's true.
Everything's cleaner, and you do feel like you have a full evacuation.
I agree.
Yeah, it's just amazing.
Do you know what I told myself at the beginning in my head when it was awkward? I kept saying, Kate, it's like you're camping. Get back to nature, how we're intended to live. And when you go camping, you don't have any other option but squatting in the bushes.
I know, right?
And that's awkward. But you know what? You go camping for 5 days, you go camping for 2 weeks, and you, by gosh, get used to it. It's like, I give myself a good 3 or 4 days and just told myself it was like getting back to nature and my camping, and I love it.
And now if you wanted to get rid of it or not have it, would that be
I wouldn't like it. I'd go back to the salt buckets.
I know, right?
I would. It doesn't feel normal now. So, But like anything with getting back to nature, we're so far removed from the way things were intended. I mean, like giving birth, squatting in a field, in a position, wherever you're going to, not being in a field. Yeah, anywhere. But squatting just seems like the natural way we were designed. And again, it's just our culture that makes us feel embarrassed about such topics. And it's sad, It's sad it's gone that way.
It's interesting because Daniel Vitalis talks about this, and this is part of his rewilding thing. And I'm sure that Dr. Jack Cruz talks about this. I mean, it's getting back, like you said, to basics. And we're not anatomically designed to sit on a 90-degree stool. That's a new invention. That's a new way of living.
Yes.
And I think that over time it becomes a cyclical thing where the less you eliminate, the more impaction you have inside your colon. The more impaction you have, the more you have to strain. The more you have to strain, the less you eliminate. So the more you...
Right, a big cycle.
Yeah, it's a big cycle. And eventually, I can't say that it causes, not having one of these causes colon cancer, causes disease, but it's going to introduce toxicity into the body that shouldn't normally be there. And, having a full, getting rid of things in a full manner, every little bit. I mean, think about it's kind of gross, but if you get rid of just a little bit each time more and have a full bowel movement, if you didn't do that, over the course of 30 years, you would have so much impaction in your lower colon.
Well, and that's, for how long we've been alive on the planet, we've done our colon hydrotherapies, and you're like, where does that stuff come from?
Where does it come from?
You can't believe that a 45-minute session, and you are not even anywhere close to being done. You could do, the colon hydrotherapists often say you could do sessions for 4 or 5 days in a row to get the best results. And I cannot believe there's that much, quote, crap coming out of your body.
I know.
Literally. It blows your mind. So at least you feel like with the Squatty Potty and the proper elimination tools, you're at least stopping the buildup of a new problem. So you can work on, and I have to say, getting the Squatty Potty along with my the enemas. It's been a really useful position.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, the enemas will, the coffee enemas I've been doing will obviously get stuff out of you anyway, but something about that Squatty Potty that just feels like it helps, I don't know what the word is.
Just
assist.
Eliminate, assist. Yeah, it's interesting. I never really thought about doing enemas without, I guess it would still work, but it's just such a great tool. It's sort of like, you're sleeping on the ground for your whole life.
Right.
And then all of a sudden someone gives you a bed.
Right.
And then you get used to it. And then you don't really think about it.
Right.
It's not really a big deal. But if someone said, okay, now you got to go back to sleeping on the ground after 20 years of sleeping in a nice, comfortable bed, then you really start thinking, oh, wow, this is not good.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think that the Squatty Potty, personally, like I said on the show, it should be in every single home in America. It should be on every toilet, I think. And I don't know. I just think they're invaluable. They're invaluable tools.
Well, and I'm serious. The price is nothing. I mean, once you buy it, you buy it. It's not like you're going to probably wear and tear it very much. I don't know how long their life is, but it seems like it's like a good anything you're investing in, and the price is so reasonable.
For $30. Right. We have the bamboo one, which is a little more expensive just because we like the design of it and the look of it. But I'm not just saying this because we sell them on our store. I mean, if we didn't make any money off these, then I would still recommend them. I mean, they're just great things.
They are great things.
And it feels so good to be able to offer products that you really believe in and you would promote even if you didn't make any money. I mean, these things are just great.
Exactly. I mean, that's what I talk about, the coffee enemas all day long to people who want to hear it or don't want to hear it. I don't have any financial
interest in that.
And it makes me feel so good. And I mean, my gosh, when you read my blog post and see the picture, I mean, I just love, like you said, promoting things that we believe in. We don't care about the money.
Yeah.
We don't.
Yeah, it's just
like his heart seems so great in that too. He just really wants to help people become aware of their health.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, it's amazing.
It's a good tool. It's an amazing tool. We really like it a lot. If you want to support us, you can go to extremehealthradio.com/squat. Or if you want to just not support us, that's okay too. And you still want to buy one, you can just go to thesquattypotty.com. But I would just highly recommend, just getting maybe like we did, get a little container or something and try the position out for a while and see what you think about it. And I think you're going to like it.
Yeah.
And then if you like it and want to support us, you can go through our link or go straight to their website and purchase one. But I just think they're great.
It is interesting trying to roam around your house going, what's the right size? You're like, oh, paint cans. You start getting creative.
Every time we go to a hotel, that's what I think of.
I know.
I think, okay,
is there a trash can that's the right size?
Yeah, do I turn the trash can on its side? And then I got to worry about the thing spilling
denting
out.
in.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that adjustable one and then also the travel one.
I can't even tell you.
That's pretty interesting.
Yep.
I don't know how in the world he's going to pull that off, but
we're going to let him do it, though.
Yeah,
we are going to be watching the whole way.
Yeah, we love it.
So go Bobby Edwards and family.
Yes. So again, that's extremehealthradio.com/squat if you want to check it out. So I just think you're going to like it. Or you can check it out in our store too. We have all the videos that he talked about. We have the one from the doctors on, and then the promo one you can watch in our store. There's a little video tab and you can go on there and check that out.
I'm so happy for them. Happy they're taking off.
Gosh, what a year for them, right?
What a year.
A year ago, they were in his mom's garage.
What a whirlwind.
This year, they're on Dr. Oz and everything.
Crazy town.
Amazing. Yeah, good stuff. So thank you, everybody, for joining this show. If you could do us a favor and pass it on to your friends, to your loved ones.
Because everybody poops. Who have colon.
Anyone who has a colon. We would really appreciate that. There's social media links at the top of this show page, which is extremehealthradio.com/191. And you can share and like it all over Facebook and that kind of thing. So we'd appreciate that. And if you have any questions or comments about the show, please go to extremehealthradio.com/191. And you can make your comment that way, or your question that way as well. We'd love to hear from you about your experiences with the Squatty Potty and your thoughts about how it works and all that. So I'd love to have you join that way. And if there's ever anything we could do for you, please just let me know. And I think that's about it, right? Is that a wrap, Kate?
I think that's what they say. That's a wrap.
That's what they say in the business? All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on this show. And we'll catch you on the next episode. Bye-bye.
for listening to this episode.
It's time to go for now, but our mission does not end with this show.
Justin and Kate will be back with another interview packed full of ideas, discoveries, and unique ways to regain your health.
Head on over to extremehealthradio.com/subscribe and instantly download our free gift too that contains cutting-edge strategies to start making healthy lifestyle changes today.
No material on this blog is intended to suggest that you should not seek professional medical care. Always work with qualified medical professionals, even as you educate yourself in the field of live food nutrition and alternative medicine. I'm not a doctor, nor am I offering readers or listeners medical advice of any kind. None of the information offered here should be interpreted as a diagnosis of any disease, nor an attempt to treat or prevent any disease or condition. While information in this blog and during this podcast is discussed in the context of numerous conditions, it can be dangerous to take action based on any of the information on this podcast or in this blog, or to start any health program without first consulting a health professional. The content found here is for informational purposes